So it's winter time yet again, and so what better time than to talk about twin fins and fishes, which is normally a summertime topic, but with the Magnum Opus and the Trascal and the Performance Twin, the Twin Fang, these different high performance boards with more modernized rockers in them, we're able to do twin fin stuff in the wintertime because they've become much more versatile boards. And so what we've got here is a new fin template. Working with True Aims, I've come up with the Magnum Opus XL Powerbroker 2+1 twin. And so what's unique about this fin, and it's cool to bring these now available because I've been hand foiling some fins and tuning up some stuff from using some True Aims foils to get bigger fins up front and a larger fin in the back, which typically with a twin fin setup, you got a much smaller fin in the back here. And so for bigger guys, anybody over like 175 on up, sometimes the 2+1 setup gets a little bit gingerly. You got to back off the gas a little bit for the bigger guys or the power surfers that are really want to hold it on rail. And so I saw a need there. So what I've done is with this new template is increase the back fin, which is almost like the smallest size Grom thruster fin, and put that in the back. And just for example, a typical 2+1, you're running a fin that's more like this size. You can see it in there. And so, you know, by going a little bit bigger yet smaller than, here's a thruster. So smaller than a thruster, but bigger than your typical, you get more hold through turns. And so, and you can really push hard on them. So it's kind of like splitting the difference between a thruster setup, so you go bigger on the sides, which this is, you know, almost like a pivot fin thruster, just bigger. And the side fins, I've gone a little bit bigger than say like a MR style twin, but smaller than what we were using was the True Aims twin, which has a little bit bigger tip, bigger base. So kind of in between this and a little smaller than the TA twin and a little bigger than an MR style, and then a bigger fin back here. So like I was saying, bigger than a thruster up front, smaller than a normal thruster in the back. And what that also has allowed me to do is change the fin cluster. So it feels more like a thruster, but with the glide of a twinnie, because you're reducing drag by having this fin be smaller. You're increasing drive by having your controller driver fins up here be larger. And so where in the past you might have like just a straight twinnie where you move the fins back, I'll move them back like 2 inches from a normal thruster placement. On the 2+1, I'm keeping them pretty much the same as it would be for a thruster setup. And so how that's different from a typical 2+1 is that normally you'll have your back fin moved up and your front fins moved back. So the fin cluster's tighter in, so that with that small trailer, the grab from the fins, you get the most traction you can out of that setup. But by making this one bigger, you can kind of pull the fins back out to where a thruster placement would be, so it can breathe a little more. The water can breathe through the fins a little bit more, but also it's still going to hold and it's going to turn more like a thruster. So that's the Magnum Opus 2+1, and you know, here's the Opus here, nice purple epoxy Opus, and this fin setup also works great on the Trascals, you know, the more fishier outlined boards. Here's some glass-ons that we were experimenting with. This is a TA twin, a little fuller tip, but these in development of getting to this, the Magnum Opus 2+1powerbroker twins, I was taking these and foiling these down and taking a little more out of the base. So the base on this, I ground down to the same as that, which is about a 5 1/8 inch base. And we found this worked great. This was a glass-ons, and just a small trailer on this, because this was for really small, weak waves. So you can reduce that back trailer quite a bit. But when you start pushing the twinnies into bigger waves, or start pushing a lot harder on them to where it's less about the glide and connecting the dots and more about the gouge, then this setup I'm finding is a real zinger. So we're proud to be working with True Aims, who has made this vision come to life, and I really appreciate it, and really stoked about this. And they're made in solid fiberglass. The tips are foiled out more, so you get a spring back and a recoil that's, you know, amazing with fiberglass. And just when you foil them out, then they have that liveliness even in less than or weaker waves. So it makes them really versatile. So a fiberglass fin always has the fastest recoil, so you foil them out, and then they're really responsive even in the small stuff. You know, spread that fin cluster back out, increase the area of the back fin, and you got something that's a really volatile, kind of like a muscle car. Like you got a Hemi under the hood now with this setup. So enjoy.